Hello, group. I am very sorry. I am extremely late this week. I guess that with class being canceled, I let myself get by with not being as diligent as I should have been, so this is a very late vlog. Um, Tyler, you did a great job of prompting, and again, I apologize for my tardiness. As far as why universities don't advertise um, their culture out front. I agree with Holly on one point, and that is that I think that the average person wouldn't know what they were talking about, and even though they wouldn't use that lingo, it would sound kind of rambling to try to explain the culture without saying that we're explaining our campus culture. Um, so I don't know that that's the marketing angle they would want to take. However, explaining pieces of your culture and the way that you do things, for instance, you mentioned housing and how housing would be run and how important student affairs is, um, how they work athletics into the academic part of it, which I don't know if that's possible, but if it is, that would be part of it. So to market your school that way, where you talk about the way that you do things, I think that would lend a lot of itself to revealing culture, even without saying we're collegial or we're managerial or we're this or we're that. To out and out say we value X, Y, and Z would really educate the students before they get there. I do agree with Holly that some students go to universities or colleges based on convenience or finances or scholarships or something. I know when I chose my undergrad, of course at that time I wasn't looking into going into higher ed, I was looking to go into K-12 ed, but when I chose the university, I chose it because it was small, because it was private, and because it was all women, and it was a personal choice on my part because I was already married and I was going to have to go away and live at the campus, so I felt like that was more respectful to go to an all-women's college versus a co-ed and, have my husband worrying about what was going on there. And that, looking back, that choice really, it turned out to be a great one. Wesleyan was a great school, but the reasons that I made the choice to go to school there didn't have anything to do with the culture or how the school operated, because I didn't really have a lot of that knowledge. I just knew that it was a liberal arts school, it was private, it was small, and it was all women. So those things didn't really give me a lot of insight into the culture. And I don't know, even if I'd had that insight, I don't know if it would have swayed my decision at that time, because at that time I didn't know enough about higher ed to know that the culture was very important. But I do think that when you get into a culture, you instinctually know if it matches your preferred method or your way of doing things. So as far as the organization marketing its culture as a stamped label, like we are a collegial school or we are a managerial school, I don't know that that would really educate anybody on what they were getting themselves into. But to really look at yourself as an institution and be very aware of the type of institution that you are, that might also prove problematic, because I think that institutions have an institutional culture, but they also have cultures within the different branches. For instance, the College of Ed may have a very different culture than the College of Business, because they're offering two different paths through education, and just those areas are going to be different. The College of Business is likely to be much more managerial. The College of Education is likely to be much more collegial because of, again, the espoused values. I think it all goes back to espoused values. So the university would have one overarching culture as far as how it's administrated, how it operates, but then you would have subcultures within the different departments. So depending on that and the student you're trying to attract, it may be that that student doesn't necessarily fit into the culture of the university, but they might fit into the culture of their department. So I'm sorry that this is rambling. But that's what I think I have to say. So I'm like Holly. I think this is probably my worst vlog ever. I know all of us are busy right around this time. So Tyler, I'm very sorry. It has nothing to do with you personally or the fact that you're the prompter. And hopefully we'll all do better next week. Thanks so much for your time.